Let's take a look at plotting using Python. You may already have Python installed on your computer, or you may be using Replit to write your Python code. But there's another program which works with data science, which is easy to use and handy, and it's free, and it's called Anaconda. So I'm going to download Anaconda, and so I'm going to go to the Anaconda downloads, download the latest version, and follow the prompts to go ahead and install it. Go ahead and add the Anaconda bin directory to your path variable. Once installed, you should be able to run Anaconda Navigator. And I know you can't see that, but Anaconda Navigator, the first time you launch it, you can either type it from the start menu, or it may be already here. Clicked the wrong one. Just a minute. The first time you launch Navigator, it takes forever to load. But when it does come up, one of the choices is Jupyter Notebook, and this is what we're going to use for this exercise. So I'm going to go ahead and launch that. By the way, once you get this installed, you can just type Jupyter Notebook from the start menu. Once it comes up, let's start a new Python notebook. Takes a bit, and what we have here is a Jupyter Notebook where you can type Python code, you can type HTML, you can bring in data. There's a lot of things you can do here. So we're running in a browser right now, and we have a server running, and we're at localhost, running on localhost. And each one of these is a cell, and each one of these cells you can type whatever you want to into it. Let's try some Python code. So let's try the traditional, and okay, so it's green while I'm editing the cell, and when I'm ready to run it, I just go up here to cell, and I can run the cells, and it runs my Python code there. Okay, so I'm going to go back. When I click off of it, it turns to blue. Click back onto the cell, and I'm going to put some code in here. Well, how about if I add another cell in here? So let's do it from here. I'm going to add some more Python code, and let's see. Grab a snippet of code and see if it'll paste in there. Okay. And so what I'm doing is that I am importing MatPlotLib library, and I'm calling it PLT. And this is a block of code which allows me to do a lot of things with handling data and graphing it. Let's go ahead and try this one. So I'm going to take from the math library, I'm going to take the plot function and plot just 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm going to put a label on it, some numbers, and now in this command I'm going to go ahead and show that plot. So let's go ahead and run this. cell, and run cells. And it plots those points for me. Okay, that's pretty much it. When I'm ready to save this, probably best to export this or download this as an either a notebook or HTML. HTML may be best. Oh, one thing I did forget to do was to give it a name before I did that, so it's by default it's untitled. So I'm going to cancel that and go back and give this a name. And rename it. Okay. So now I can run these cells, run the cells and the selected cells below that, run the cells and insert below. Okay. All right. Let's go ahead and try one more. Add another cell. And in this cell, I'm going to grab a snippet of code and add that in. First move it down. Below this one. And in this cell, let's just put some text in there. So I'm going to go to cell type, and make it a markdown. So I'm not going to put code in this one. I'm just going to make it markdown. Okay, so I can put HTML in there. And when I run that, it just has the text that's in there. Let me put one more cell in there. And in this one, I'm going to drop some more code in there. So this one is not a markdown. This one is by default, it goes to code. And on this one, I'm going to use NumPy. And you should take some time to track down the uses and what NumPy is, and the math plotting library, and the code that's in all of these. But I'm importing those into my program, so I have access to all the code that's in there, all the code from NumPy and the math library. I'm calling NumPy NP, calling the math library PLT. And in this case, I'm just going to plot a sine wave, x and y coordinates. Okay. And go ahead and run this. Cell, run cells. And that's all that does. Okay, so plotting points. That's about it. Save this as a, download this as an HTML file. Be sure to use the help and take a look through this. It'll take you on a tour. And that will do it for now.